A couple injuries that came up in the game. Landon Young, we'll see how that goes with the ankle. Shane Lemieux with an ankle. We had a few ankles come up here. Christian Boyd with a little hand, and everyone else. There's a few other bunch of bumps and bruises that obviously we'll have to navigate over the next couple days. But love the effort, love the energy that our guys played with. Felt like you felt the dome for that first quarter. It felt a little bit like a regular season game with ones versus ones. Tons of really good work in there, and ultimately didn't get the goal at the game of getting the victory. Came up short. When the moment presents itself, we got pounced on a couple opportunities and we weren't able to. And so tons of good film for us to go through. And then obviously the challenging aspect of this thing is just the roster transactions that we have to do for this next week. So we'll have to make some really tough decisions and try and keep as many of these guys as we can. So open up for questions.
How soon do you expect that roster cuts and things like that will begin? Do you like to start that right after the game, or do you want to do that?
We'll review this game, have those discussions initially on Sunday. Monday we'll continue that discussion. Obviously we know the deadline ultimately is Tuesday, so the bulk of that will be done on Tuesday, and we'll see if there's anything that needs to be addressed maybe on Monday as well.
And just to be clear, when you say have those discussions, you mean discussions among the coaching staff, or you're starting the discussion with the players on Sunday?
No, not with the players on Sunday. Sunday's an off day for the players. I think for all the coaches and the personnel department, for us to get together, watch this film, evaluate it, have the necessary discussions that we need to have, and they'll be really healthy discussions. We got a lot of competition on this team. There'll be a lot of challenging things that we'll ultimately have to make decisions on.
Do you have a timetable yet for when you want to announce a starting quarterback for the regular season?
Yeah, we'll go through this process. We'll study the film Sunday. We'll have those discussions, and then at some point next week, we'll make that decision and communicate with certainly the players first and foremost, and we'll get it to everyone else as well.
Do you feel like you saw anything one way or another from either quarterbacks that maybe starts to sway you already, or are you trying to keep everything?
I thought there was a lot of good by the quarterbacks. There's a couple missed opportunities, and but I thought they were going through the right process. Both guys, I think had some opportunities in there. Tyler had an awesome run down in the red zone. I thought he used his feet pretty well in this game, and so there's some good stuff. And I felt good that we were able to get Jake in there just because last week just the way the game played out, we weren't able to get him those reps, and so I felt like it was really awesome to get him a couple series in there. And so I know all three of these guys, they want to play the whole game and they want to play as long as they can, and that's a challenging aspect of preseason. You got to navigate that.
Obviously, Spencer got to start with the first string the entire time they were in the game, and then Tyler came in with the second string. I mean, if it was like more of a competitive atmosphere, would they have taken turns and both played with the starters?
We had discussed, a lot of the ones were kind of independent of the quarterback situation. We just felt like Spencer had gotten to enough reps that we saw some work there. We wanted to make sure we were going to give enough reps and then place into some situations that Tyler was able to get into, which, play in earlier in the game. His first game he played, the last drive of the second quarter against the Chargers. And so we felt like we got some good work for him, today.
Just maybe for the sake of being thorough, it's not like a consideration, at least at this point, to bring in a veteran, right? You've been pretty thorough on it's going to be one of these guys, correct?
Yeah, we feel great about this group. We've invested and poured a lot into these guys. These guys are young guys. They're going to keep growing each and every day, and we're excited to see where this thing goes for all of them.
Obviously, you want to balance seeing what these guys have while also not, I guess, quote unquote, tipping your hand out there and running too much stuff to give teams an idea of what your offense will look like this season. Has that been kind of a challenge, balancing those two things?
There's certain aspects of our offense and defense and special teams that you're naturally not going to do in preseason. We feel like you do want to give these guys a chance to be successful, put them in really good situations. There's enough film over the last few years of our offense, defense, and special teams. People have an idea, and certainly those things we feel comfortable we can show them and put the things on film, and we'll save the other things for later.
Kellen, is any of the injuries are going to affect how you guys approach the 53?
There'll be a few discussions just because it comes down to really tomorrow's discussion once we figure out the length of some of these injuries, and there's some that may lead into the regular season. That will be some challenging discussions for us just to how to handle those. We feel like there's a few that we'll have to navigate, but the rest should be pretty clean.
Kellen, is this one of the most difficult week of the season coming on up, getting to the 53 and actually talking to a parent saying, hey, we love what you did, but not part of the team?
Yeah, this is the most challenging week of the NFL. We've invested so much time in all 90 of these guys. They've put everything into this. This is everyone's hopes and dreams and aspirations, and we want that to happen to all these guys. Naturally, you have to go from 90 to 53, bring 16 or 17 back on practice squad, and we want to keep as many of these guys as we can in this organization because we're going to need all these guys. As the season goes on, you're going to need a lot of guys to contribute, and so there's challenging discussions to be had, but this is a group that we root for, and we're all in on.
Do you expect to actively be following the waivers, positions where you have a bunch of injuries and see what everybody else, do you expect to be active in that end of it?
It's always important to do your due diligence. Mickey, Michael, Kai, Jeff, all those guys, they're going to put a ton of work into the next few weeks to just making sure we understand where the league's at and what opportunities present themselves. And we're always trying to acquire more players, more talented players that can help us, be successful. And so we'll continue to go down that road.
After Shough's touchdown, there was an opportunity to see him potentially be the comeback guy. You just saw what you needed to see.
Yeah, I thought he did a really awesome job. I thought that was a great response, that drive by him. I think he had a number of completions in a row. The one incompletion is said. He made a great adjustment at the line of scrimmage. We were really close there, and then the run was just phenomenal. It was great recognition on him, high football IQ, decision making, and so we were able to get Jake in for a couple drives there. And those are never easy moments because we'd love to get these guys a million reps. Ultimately, we felt like getting Jake a couple in there presented an opportunity for us.
How good was it to see Devin finally get some play?
Oh yeah, Devin. Yes, it was great. It was great for Devin to get in there. Thought from a protection standpoint, pass catching, run game. I thought he had a couple on that drive with Tyler late in the game in the fourth quarter. He had some big time plays, and you can just tell he's a really smart player. He's a really heady player. He did some good things for us.
A lot of the starters got several drives. Was there any reason why Kamara only played one snap?
Yeah, that was just we just kind of talked about, we wanted to get Kendre with that group, which I felt like was going to be a great opportunity for him. Alvin was alive and he was ready to go as far as taking some reps if we needed it. But we really felt like that was a great opportunity for Kendre to roll with those ones as well.
How do you feel like he handled that opportunity?
Good. Yeah, Kendre has just had a really steady entire offseason. I thought he's done a phenomenal job. Training camps, he's just been consistent week in and week out. These games, I thought he runs really, really hard. He's a physical player. We like what we've seen.
He's a guy that is, trying to really kind of rebound after injuries and things like that. What have you seen from him, maybe away from the field, in terms of work ethic, things like that?
I think he has tremendous work ethic. He's really focused on this opportunity. You can just feel it. I think his preparation that has gone into this thing, he's put a ton of time and effort into it. He handles a lot of volume, and I think that's really, really valuable. When you're behind Alvin, we're going to ask you to do a few different things, and you're going to have to be ready to hop in here and there. And so, whatever's happened in the past, I don't really care about because what we've seen has been awesome.
What did you make of your starting defense?
Love the energy, love the effort, love the phicality. We had an unfortunate one with DeMario with the penalty there. It was all about the right intent. He's trying to push the guy out of bounds. We'll see if it, went a little too far. That was kind of the information we got, and so that'll be a great lesson for us just to see. But I love the energy. They made some really good plays. Sutton made some really good contested plays that moved them downfield. But I felt like our guys were in position to compete each and every play.
Kellen, Riley, it seems like he's kind of happened into a couple interceptions through camp. What does that say about his game that he seems to always be in the right spot?
He's a ball guy, and he just continues to be around the football, and when you're around it, good things happen. And so certainly he's contributed to a number of big-time moments. That was a big-time stop for our defense, gave us an excellent opportunity to go drive it. From an offense perspective, we weren't able to capitalize on that sudden change, which was unfortunate, but that was a big play for him.
If I can ask about the process, looking at the quarterbacks, seemingly they've been pretty close. When you all meet as a group of Doug and Tolzien and Mickey, is it a group decision, or is it I'm the head coach and what I want at the end will probably happen?
Well, certainly I think it's important that we collaborate and talk through this thing. That's an important aspect of this thing. Everyone's got their different perspectives and different exposures, and so that'll be really, really important. Ultimately, I know I have to make a decision, and it's a challenging one because these guys have put everything into this. They've been very, very close. We love this room. We want this room to be together, and we know good things are going to happen to all these guys as their journey goes on. And so, we'll watch it tomorrow. We'll navigate it, and we'll make a decision early.
In those discussions so far, are you guys all in agreement, or is there, some back and forth?
There's healthy discussions, absolutely. I'm not going to get into the voting ballots. This isn't, Big Brother or something, going through everyone's ballots every week. But, so it's been great discussion. I think we got the right guys in the room.
You talked about Spencer. Do you think he took a step forward today? And overall, how has he been
Yeah, Spence did some really good work today. I thought he made some excellent decision making. And, I think the one that he's going to sit on is that we just missed an opportunity to throw it. Right behind. It ended up right on the back hip of Shaheed. But other than that, I thought he did some really good stuff. He went through some progressions really well. Found some guys. That's a really good defense. They're going to give you some looks. Vance obviously does an excellent job, and so I thought it was some really good work for him.
Going on fourth down there, obviously, is that kind of hey, we want to see this part of the offense, or was it just the moment you wanted to be aggressive?
Yeah. I mean, it's 4th and inches. We're gonna lean on going for it in those situations, and we got to convert. And so we ran one particular play. We'll see how it looked on film. We'll address that and put ourselves in position to go for it again.
Are you concerned by the amount of injuries you guys had already to the offensive line?
Sometimes this is the way injuries occur. You can't control all these aspects. It has hit offensive line a little bit, and we'll continue to evaluate and address it.
On the pass to Shaheed you mentioned, was that not kept that number of lines?
It may have been, yeah. You guys may have had a better. I haven't seen the TV portion of it, so if it was tipped, then maybe that there's your answer. Okay, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
How'd you feel like you did out there today?
I feel like I had a decent game. I feel like there's some plays I missed, but I'm just blessed to play the sport at a high level. Going into my 3rd year, being an undrafted guy, like I'm just super grateful just for even the opportunity I have.
I know you've gone through like cut down day before, but what is just the next 48 hours like as you're waiting to see one way or another?
This is probably one of the worst time periods in the NFL because you start to realize it's a real big business side of the NFL, and it's not just football and fun, but you try to just keep faith. Like I'm a big believer, firm believer in Jesus Christ, so I try to keep my faith, and whatever happens is for me, and that'll be that.
What are some things you did during camp that you think, going to speak whatever you face?
I think just being available, being healthy. Last year this same exact game I got hurt, and I was having a fantastic preseason last year. But being available when guys go down, getting my hands on people at practice, getting my hands on the ball, tackling, showing up in the run game. But yeah, like I said, just hopefully God puts that in front of me.
Kellen, tomorrow's an off day for the players, and they'll start getting into the discussion. Do you almost wish that it was like that, I could find out, like, what's tomorrow like, just staying home and waiting?
Well, it's usual routine to have an off day right after the game, but knowing there's cuts, you kind of don't want to be in the building. It's like ghost town. You don't want to see people getting cut, so I mean, it's good to have an off day and then being able to make those decisions while we're not everybody's there. But
All right.
thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Spencer, just kind of looking back all the way through, OTAs, do you feel like you've done enough at this point to win this starting quarterback job?
I try not to, that's not my decision to make. I just try to put my best foot forward. I feel like as a group we've, done a lot of good things and are progressing in the right direction. Obviously still a lot to work on as a group, but I like the direction we're headed, and the guys we trust in each other, and I think that's the biggest thing. And but yeah, not my decision to make, but just try to put my best foot forward.
Did you worry to get the opportunity, like, compared to last year when you went in to now, like, in what ways you feel like, I don't want to say, like, more prepared, but, like, in what ways you feel like you'd do better and, like, have grown and
Yeah.
feel like you can handle, like, what things do you think will be different in your favor this time around?
I think obviously just being more prepared, being able to play a little bit last year. Getting to go against good defenses this preseason, getting a joint practice under my belt, and just getting to build more with these guys. And obviously with a new system, feel like it'd be exciting to go in there and play ball and play free and try to put a good game plan together. But again, we're just focused on the day by day. Still got a week or two to go, but looking forward to whatever happens.
I feel like you'd be ready for that opportunity were it to come.
No doubt, no doubt.
How would you assess your play today?
Yeah, I mean, we're moving the ball pretty well. Weren't great on third down, didn't convert some of those. We put points on the board with our defense. That's good. That's a positive. That's a good defense we played today. Obviously, a lot of talented players. Thought we ran the ball pretty well. Had a couple throws. Just got to stay in third and manageable. But I thought it was solid. Could have been better, obviously, but it was solid.
What did you see on the ankle patient to Rasheed?
Oh, yeah, I want that one back. It was cover zero. They brought the pressure. We got in the right check. And drifting left, trying to throw back across with the play fake, just got to hit that one. I probably threw it a little early, but I just got to lead him because that's a big play. If we connected, and I told Shough I owe him one, so I'm going to get him one.
How much of Kellen Moore's offense would you say we saw in preseason games? Like, certainly not all of it, right?
Yeah. Not going to give too much, in depth, but, there was a little flavors here and there, but, he's got a lot he could dial up, and, we love him as a play caller. I thought he's done a great job throughout the preseason, getting us in good looks and giving us opportunities to make big plays as a group. It's our job to go out there and execute them at a high level, but, I thought he's called some great plays this preseason and obviously throughout camp, and but yeah, there's a lot more.
Do you like the fact that there is a lot more and, it hasn't maybe been used in these preseason games? How does that kind of impact a QB competition? Like, if you're not using, I guess, the whole offense, do you think it kind of holds you all back a little bit at all, or what kind of role does that play?
No, I wouldn't say it holds you back at all. I mean, all teams are doing the same type of stuff. They don't want to show too much, but like I said, it doesn't limit you. You just got to go through your plays, execute them, and try to score points. We're going against good defenses, obviously giving us good looks, and they're not making it easy on us, but it's our job to trust our preparation, trust our coaching, and go out there and get it done.
So you haven't had a chance to play much with a lot of Rasheed. It wasn't like finally get to play some.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, they created some separation. We had a few completions to those guys today. After that, the attempted QB sneak, we had a pretty good play dialed up for Olave. That was, I was dang near positive it was going to be a big play, but we didn't convert, so we didn't get to call that. But it's good having those guys out there. They're healthy. They got through the preseason healthy camp. They look great. You rely on those guys. They're great.
Is that separation like really noticeable between them and maybe some of the other receivers?
Those are just guys that have played, obviously longer than a lot of the other guys, but obviously very talented. We got guys on each, ones, twos, threes that could all separate, all talented in their own ways, and I think Kellen does a great job of scheming to get those guys open.
What do you think of the fact that the QB competition is going, so deep into the preseason?
I really have no thoughts on it. I just kind of show up, do my best, put my best foot forward, and let the rest take care of itself.
You feel like you have put your best foot forward? I know you were saying that earlier, but like, you feel like the product you've shown is, I guess, the best that you do?
I mean, there's always room for improvement. That's a good question. I feel confident in what I've done. But again, there's obviously more out there to get, and we're looking forward to doing that.
How much do you think a 6'5" receiver will help on like third down, red zone, stuff like that?
No doubt. Just got to be around him a little bit this week, and obviously physically looks very capable to do a lot of things in this offense. Even Sean Payton came up to me and said, "Man, you guys got a hell of a receiver." He speaks really highly of him, so I think that speaks volumes. Seems like a great dude, and excited to build with him, get him going.
Spencer, what's the dynamic like with you and Tyler right now? I mean, I know you all competing. What's your all's relationship like? And eventually, one of you all is going to take the backup role. How do you think that'll play out for whoever?
Yeah, we know what situation we're in. I mean, we're both pros. We handle it like pros, and I wouldn't say it's like a toxic QB room at all. We build together. Me, Tyler, Hayner, we all do a good job collectively as a group and with our coaches of, we're all trying to play well when we go out there and lead our team to points, and we push each other, which I think is good. But, yeah, we have a good relationship.
How disappointed would you be
Man, that's a good question. Again, I kind of control what I have to, and I guess that's kind of my answer for it. I don't got much on that one.
Spencer, adding on the relationship with Tyler, has it been everything that you thought it would be? I mean, both of you guys knew each other since high school.
Yeah, we briefly knew each other coming up, just kind of mutually. So it's good to be around him. I think we work well together. Feel like two talented guys, and I've enjoyed my time here, and the work's been great.
Do you think you got that first down on the sneak?
I thought so. I thought with going forward, I thought I got it. I thought I kind of got face masked a little bit to the left, but every call doesn't go your way.
Did you appreciate the confidence to go for it? Obviously, you didn't get it, but just the decision making to be aggressive in that situation.
Yeah, you love that. You 4th and inches, you're 4th and 1. You want to go for it. Need some points, need some momentum, and feel like that was our spot to do it.
Kellen made it clear that he wasn't bringing in a veteran. You talk about the confidence that he has in his quarterback room.
I think that's great. I think we got capable guys in this room, and we got playmakers around us to where we can make plays and win games. So I got confidence in him. He's got confidence in us. You can't beat that. Got to love that confidence from your coach. Thank you.
How y'all doing?
Could you just take us through your interception?
Coach put us in a great call. I know I had high help over me, so I knew I can be aggressive, anything low. Receiver came out the ball blocking, so I knew I can get my eyes back to the QB, shed the block. Had a great rest by the D-line, and the running back dropped the ball, and then tips and overthrows. Coach always said we got to have those, so just executed very to my ability.
Like, you're always around us. Like, what is how, is it just the instincts? Like, you just know where the ball's going to go? It just seems like every time a ball pops up, like, there you are, like, to make a play.
For sure, instincts play a part in it, but my coach always say, like, the ball find good players, just do your job, and that's all I can do is every day just do my job, and hopefully the ball finds me.
Is this defense good for you? You said you had your eyes on him, and you said, that's what this defense is built around, right? Is this defense made for what you do well?
100%. Like, on the first day I got here, coach was always just telling me, like, I'm always have some type of inside help, some type of way. I always have my eyes on the QB, and that's, like, how I like to play, like, eyes on QB and between the QB and the man. I always having the eyes back, knowing I can play the ball and play the man at the same time. So I think this defense worked perfectly for me.
Mario just complimented your play style, but how do you evaluate how preseason has gone for you?
It's been a very good learning experience for me, coming from college and now to the NFL. It's just been taking whatever I can from the vets, coaches, anybody, just each day, each game, just getting better each game. Whatever I got to do and just to prove to be the best I can for this team. So I think it's been a great learning experience, and I'm enjoying it.
Are there ups and downs of camp, and did you have to push through any of them? Did you face?
I say for sure, that's just anything with life, especially with camp. It's a real grind. It's all day. So you got some days you feel I'm kind of sluggish. Let me just bounce back. And but the days that you really get better on, because now you forcing yourself to really lock in on whatever you got to lock in on. So I think them days help me get over me just being competitive or just me just being a good player.
What was it like after the interception, seeing how excited all your teammates were for you? It seemed like you got mobbed in that end zone a little bit there.
Of course, and just everybody's always celebrating. That just made me happy. When someone else make a play and the whole team just celebrate, it just let me know that we together and we enjoy each other. We enjoy each other making plays. So that's the thing you can help. You can really just watch from a good team. Everybody always happy for one another.
Hey, Quincy, you spent this time of year with Tyler. What have you seen from him as far as his growth from year to
Growth wise, I just see him just really just locking in. He been a lead at Louisville, but now just like, cause we was like the older guys in the room, but now just seeing him just come in as a rookie and just trying to demand the room as a quarterback. So I just think just seeing him just step up and just having that type of impact on the team, I think that's what most I've seen from him so far. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
What's going through your mind on the play where, you know, it's coming at you, spin out of it, you drift over the sideline, hit the sidearm throw, like, is it like slow motion when that's happening, or are you just kind of blacking out and instincts, how do you process that mentally, what's going on?
I think, you know, you're going through your whole process pre-snap during the play, and then at that point you're trying to find your check down or you're extending the play, and there, you know, you're trying to save points, trying to get a first down. So really, it's just playing football at that point. You know, that's when you're in kind of flow state. You're just trying to get it out of your hand, make something happen.
What about the zone read touchdown run? What did you see on that play?
Yeah, it was kind of a plan that we had throughout the week as far as whenever they brought in a certain package, we get to certain runs. So we got to that run, and I was just reading that in. I knew I could beat him to the edge and get to the end zone. And yeah, it was really well executed drive just from the whole offense. So it was good to get down there.
Nice to get a couple opportunities to do the QB run game today. I think you had 2 read options.
Yeah, that first one I probably could have gave, and it was kind of 50-50 and kind of similar thought process. I thought I could beat him, but yeah, we'll watch it back. But I knew coming into it, wanted to utilize it a little bit more and just what I can do and show, and just have that element of it, especially if we're going to get certain looks in that run game.
When did that become part of your game? Because it feels like that's something that we studied throughout preseason camp and such.
Running the ball?
Yeah, like just more so like the instincts of when or when not to take.
I mean, you just throughout camp you're going through different installs where you don't really have some of that stuff, and we're just kind of going through the flow of it. But I feel like it's always been there ever since I was at Oregon, and it's just kind of different systems. Really, that's all it's been. And I ran it a bunch at Tech as well. Louisville, I didn't as much just because it was a different system. But I think that's just something that you kind of have to have, is that element of extending those plays and running it.
Do you feel like you've shown enough to win the starting quarterback job?
I mean, it's a good question. I think for me, you know, what I put on tape continually throughout the call-up periods, throughout the games, just kind of had the steady growth, the operation. I feel like it has been enough. I feel like I'm fully capable to go out there and lead the charge. Obviously I don't make those decisions. I think the whole team, the whole offense has continually gotten better. But for me, I feel really comfortable going into week to week, and I'm just excited to get to work on Arizona and see what we're going to do.
What are the next couple of days like for you? Like, what is your personal process? Because you know the announcement's coming soon. Like, do you get overly nervous about it? Like how do you put that aside and not just worry about it or think about it?
Yeah, I think like it's what you said. You know, you've put in the work to this point, and it's a continual process. You know, you can look back at every single moment where you maybe had a mistake, but those mistakes were necessary to kind of get to this point. You know, so it's and I'm going to continue to make mistakes, and that's part of it. So I think the biggest thing is just, you know, I feel like I have nothing to lose, and that's kind of the mindset I have to remind myself with, is I wasn't really supposed to get drafted at a certain point. I wasn't supposed to be here. A lot of people are still going to doubt me, and I'm just happy to go out there and compete with all the guys. And I think we have that same mindset where we're being doubted and we love it. So we just kind of have that attitude, and whatever the case may be, just go attack it.
Along those lines, there was the sack fumble today. You're not trying to be like, just don't blow it out there. I mean, you're not trying to just be like, I don't make any mistakes and you'll be viewed a certain way.
No, I mean, that was just playing there. We had the exact, look what we wanted. Everything was going good. I was going to rip it to Tipton on the back shoulder, and when he went to invert, I had him beat on that flat defender. So the DN made a good move and had knocked the ball out. That's just kind of part of it. It sucks, but I think the whole O-line played really well, especially the whole game. We just got to finish on some of those penalties, in the red zone and stuff like that. But it was good.
Kellen, do you ever find yourself looking for hints or reading into things that might tell you which way this quarterback decision is going to go, even if you don't mean to, maybe just like who was with the ones that day or something a coach said? Or
I think they've done a really good job of just giving us, I feel like both equal chances as far as reps and times to take control of the room, or times to
to share the different roles. And I think they've done a really good job as far as splitting that up and having certain days. So today, one guy's going to get these reps with the ones, then we'll rotate. So I think they've done a good job. That also, it's hard because you don't really get a certain flow, but I think that's part of it. And but for me, it's human nature to want to do that. And like I said before, the biggest thing that I've kind of learned is just operating wise and controlling your reps. I think I've done a really good job at finishing the past couple weeks of doing that and just having fun with it.
How do you evaluate your preseason performance from your plays, your command, decision making? How do you evaluate all that?
I think for me, I think it's been that steady growth, and I think it's been a steady increase of performance. And I think what I add to the table as far as just from down the field elements, running the ball, controlling the offense, managing it, giving our guys chances to play. I think I've done a really good job of that. I also think Spencer's really capable as well. I think Jake is really capable as well. I think it's obviously a really tough decision, and we got a lot of talent on offense. But I know for us and for myself, I'm going to continue to keep getting better because regardless of what the scenario is, I feel like I'm ready to go and the guy to go out there and play. And we'll see what happens. But I'm just really, really thankful to be able to work with this offense and the team just because we got such a good group.
When you're looking at a box after a game, what are you checking out first, or where are your eyes going to go?
Like a box score?
Yeah, is that what you're looking at?
Oh, it's just kind of like notes but yeah, some box scores. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of it too. But I think for me, you're looking at the whole story. Like obviously you got all the quarterback stats, completions, all that stuff. But there's a story in each every one of it. There could be a better ball placement here, or we had maybe a incompletion there, and you're doing the right decision. So I think after you watch the film, that's where you kind of get the true answer of it. Yeah. Yeah, he's a beast. I think his savviness is what stands out to me. One, in the run game, he's really a power runner, but he's got kind of some finesse, and then he's also extremely capable in the pass game. As we've seen, this kind of practices running some of these choice routes. He's been getting open almost every single time, and then obviously in the pass game, he's making people miss. So I think he's going to be really good for us, especially being behind AK and kind of seeing. I feel like there's similar capabilities there.
I know you haven't actually been into it yet, but do you feel like your background and the ebbs and flows of your journey to get here could help you with the adversity that might come if you were the Week 1 starter and there might be some hard games and there's 4 or 5 hard games right there at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're maybe callous to some of the emotional turmoil that rookies go through?
100%. I think that's why I was drafted here, was to kind of understand that coming in here, and I understand the stigma. You have to come in and be in an offense that previously had Drew Brees and a lot of really good quarterbacks and a lot of just a extremely well done culture in the whole city of New Orleans. But for me, I understand like we talked about, it's about continual growth. You're not going to come in and be a Super Bowl team Week 1. You have to believe that and you have to operate it that way. But you're going to continue to climb and see what happens throughout the season. Like you said, there's going to be ebbs and flows, and I feel like mentally and physically I'm equipped for it. But we'll see. I think the biggest thing I learned throughout this whole camp and preseason process is you just learn what you could from that day and then take it and apply it to tomorrow, and you'll be better off.
And that same kind of vein, both of your touchdown drives this preseason have come immediately after turnovers. What do you make of that? Is it just coincidental? Is there something to be said for kind of locking in after a bad moment, not kind of unraveling it? What do you make of that?
I think for me, it's just a continual effort, and for me, I'm trying to be really intentional about communicating on the sideline and getting up in the O-line's face and we're going right back down the field and we're going to score, giving them a headbutt, whatever it may be. Just like you said, maybe not locking in, but just having that urgency. I think regardless of the drive, bad things are going to happen. You're playing football, you're throwing a ball here, it may get tipped or intercepted or sacked or whatever it may be. So just operating wise, that's the biggest thing. And we had I think 3 or 4 conversions on that last drive for third down, and it was just really well done. So by the whole offense, I think to your point, it's part of the game, and you got to answer the bell.
We've seen a lot of the changes in arm slot throughout camp, and then today I think there's 4 or 5 attempts to drop that down. Is that thought about within the play itself, or is that just kind of a feel thing in the moment?
A little bit of both. certain looks you're getting a nickel pressure and you're spitting out a smoke screen, or you're getting out a regular screen, you're going to have to anticipate that DN blocking his shot or having his hands in a certain angle, so you're anticipating that, and then some of it is just when you're feeling it. But I think for me, just having that part of it, and you're kind of, like I said, you're just kind of in flow state there. You're just playing, and you got to use whatever arm angle to get it out.
You might have been asked this the other day, but so apologies if you were. But do you feel like this quarterback competition is as close as Kellen's said it was?
Yeah, I mean, I think both of us have done a really good job as far as just week to week, day to day, just competing. That's been the funnest part. Is just certain days, to your point, Catherine, like you said, there's going to be a good day from Spencer, a good day from Jake, a good day from me. Maybe just we're all similar, but you kind of you don't want to get caught up in that, because I feel like for me, I've just continually gotten better. And I feel like that growth is the one thing I've been proud of, as far as everything's not gonna be perfect, but that's one thing I have learned throughout it. And but yeah, we'll see. I think it's obviously close, because we haven't made a decision yet, but just really happy. And I think whatever the case may be, I'm gonna really, like I said before, attack that whole process.
What was the growth point for you from the ground game play last week? Like, what do you take from that? How do you grow from that?
Yeah, it's kind of a twofer. You might be in the end zone, you might not be. Take a sack. We got beat on it. So I think the growth part was just making sure we get the O-line call communicated beforehand, so you're not in that situation. And then to your point, second down and long, we may call deeper shots, we may call quick shots, but just getting the ball out of your hands quicker, even if somebody gets beat, is better than, especially when you're backed up. But we hadn't really had that scenario come up. Normally when you're in kind of those get back on track scenarios, you're thinking get the ball out quick, and we call a deep shot. That was good for me to see. If it's not there, then you just kind of have to burn it or just take the sack. So you're not thinking that, but it was good to learn from.
Why did you keep the game ball after your touchdown?
Ben brought it over. He said, "You want to keep it?" And I was like, "Sure." I was like, just running it, and we'll see. Probably give it to some fam or something like that. But it was a cool just moment running it in and stuff like that.
That's why you talked about practicing patience with you all, considering the youth of the competition. How important has that aspect been for you?
For me, it's a brand new offense for everybody. So I think understanding that we're not going to be at level 300 right now when we're installing some of these plays, and we're kind of continue to grow to that, but understanding that this is the first time you're in that play, and this is what we're trying to get done. So you can't get frustrated if it doesn't work out exactly as you think. And for me, that's been big, just because sometimes it's the first time I'm running a play. But I think for me, just having that background of being in different offenses in my career, and then also being able to adapt, has helped me out a lot. And then I think this whole year, I think it just fits my skill set really well in the offense and what we're trying to do.
There could be a lot of outside focus on preseason stats from practice. In the quarterback room, do you guys utilize that? Do you look at that, or in practice specifically, does it not matter without the context of what y'all may have been trying to accomplish in practice that day?
Yeah, I mean, stats in practice are kind of tough, because, like you said, you might be working on a backed up scenario, or you might be working on a red zone scenario where a good play is to throw it away a bunch of times. So stuff like that is kind of is what it is. I think for the biggest thing for us in the quarterback room is just decision making. Were we in the right play? Did we have any mental errors? Were you doing the right thing? And then stuff like that. That's kind of part of it. And I think for me, I've done a really good job of that, of growing earlier on, and then operating. I think that's been one of my stronger suits. And but yeah, it's part of it. And I understand from the media, it's obviously super fun to track all of the incompletions and whatnot, but a lot of the hidden stuff is when you look at the film, and yeah.
Hey, we count completions too, though, not just the bad plays. We count the good plays too.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was curious how you did it, though. I didn't know if that was like y'all use statistics like fairness.
No, in the quarterback room. No, I don't. I've been a part of some offenses where they kind of or teams where will remind you of it, but especially when you're in when training camp, it's kind of hard, because they haven't even brought it up one time, so it's just kind of really see it from you guys or something like that. But yeah, it's more of just how do we operate throughout the day? How did it go? What could we have done differently?
Quincy talks about you commanding the room, commanding this team. Having guys like Quincy, Jonathan, and Having so many connections, does that help you step in and have the confidence to kind of take charge?
Yeah, I think for someone like Jawan specifically, who's kind of been here for a while, he's been a great just asset, friend, teammate to me, just to kind of understand some of that role of like, hey, keep your head up here, or hey, you can, come and say something here. Or just having that dynamic has been really helpful for me earlier on. But also, it's just kind of, it's part of it. You have to naturally earn everybody's respect. You gotta play well for one. You play well, then you can kind of earn some of that respect. And for me, it's just like I said before. I've been in different stages of my life when I've known some of those guys at Oregon and Tech and then Louisville now. And the biggest thing is just having some juice, being yourself every single day, and then going out there and playing.
Is what we've seen from Quincy sort of what you saw last year? Just as far as his ability to be on the ball all the time?
With Quincy? Yeah, 100%. Like I think that's his greatest strength is his mind. He's always kind of somewhere around it, making a tackle, making a play. His ball skills, obviously physically, he's extremely talented. But I think what I've seen from him is he's kind of stepped up into that moment almost every single time. He did it last year at Louisville, and I think he's going to be a really kind of key piece for this team. Just being kind of that guy that you can really count on.
Is Trayton a guy that you've kind of just developed the trust with? It seems like there's opportunities that you kind of just give him a chance to go make a play.
Yeah, Trayton works his butt off. He's one of my favorite dudes that I've ever been kind of a teammate with, just because of he's always trying to find a little bit way to get better. And, obviously he's behind Jawan or in whatever fashion that may be. So depending on the day, he might be getting reps with one guy, but he's always kind of finding a way to get open, and he's just doing his job. And I think I was really proud of his performance, and I think he's really tough too. Like, you guys don't see it, but he's gotten like 3 or 4 stingers or shoulder times, and we're asking him to split flow and block Carl Granderson or Chase Young in some of the practice, and he's stepping up to the count. So really happy for him, and hopefully stays here for a long time because he's a really good player.
It sounds like relative to your experience, you're mostly encouraged by your performances. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And why? Can you listen to why that is?
Yeah, I think for me, the first game, obviously we kind of had the first 2 games, you're kind of taking turns as far as what reps you're getting. Kind of the flow of the game is differently. You're coming in first half starting, but I think for me, operating wise, throwing the football, I think it's been extremely clean. The second game, same thing. It just didn't, we only had 2 or 3 drives just because they were running the ball a lot, and that's part of it. But I think overall, the way I played, the way it's been going, I felt really, really encouraged about it. And at the end of the day, obviously, don't make the decision, but I think for me, I feel ready to go. I feel like the vibe of the team with everybody, I feel like I'm in the best position to go out there and have success. But also at the same time, Spencer's done a really good job as far as, having that comfortability, being here for last year, just operating, he's done a good job with. So I'm just excited to kind of figure out what we're going to do and game plan for Arizona and get kind of to the season, because whenever we're playing and we're kind of in that flow, I think we're going to be really good.
How disappointed would you be if you're not named the starter?
That's a good question. I think for me is, a competitor, you're going to be disappointed, but understanding that, you're going to do everything you can to stay prepared, to stay ready. But at the same time, I feel up to this point, I feel like I said before, like I'm ready to go. But I don't make that decision. It'll kind of cross that bridge when you get there. But I'm just excited to come out of this game and operate. And obviously, we didn't get the win like we wanted to, kind of finishing this preseason strong. But I think we got some momentum to kind of look forward to.
Thank you.
Thank you.